Welcome to part 2 of the Testament of Solomon, where the wise king encounters the formidable demons Beelzebub and Orneskilas. At the end of the text, you'll find our analysis of this section. If you're short on time, use the timestamps in the description below to navigate through this video. Let's get started. Ornias took the finger ring and went off to Beelzebub, who has kingship over the demons. He said to him, "Come, Solomon calls you." But Beelzebub, having heard, said to him, "Tell me, who is this Solomon of whom you speak?" Then Ornias threw the ring at the chest of Beelzebub, saying, "Solomon the king calls you." Beelzebub cried aloud with a mighty voice and shot out a great burning flame of fire, and he arose and followed Ornias and came to Solomon. And when Solomon saw the prince of demons, he glorified the Lord God, maker of heaven and earth, and said, "Who are you?" The demon replied, "I am Beelzebub, the ruler of the demons, and all the demons have their chief seats close to me, and it is I who make manifest the apparition of each demon." Solomon demanded that he bring the demons, and he promised to bring all the spirits under his rule. Solomon then asked of the demon if there were females among them, and when he told him that there were, Solomon asked to see them. So Beelzebub went off at high speed and brought to him a female demon called Orneskilas that had a very pretty shape and the skin of a fair-hued woman, and she tossed her head. As she stood before Solomon, he asked who she was. And the female demon replied, "I am called Orneskilas, a spirit turned into a body and lurks upon the earth. There is a golden cave where I lie, but my most frequent dwelling places are the precipices, caves, and ravines. Sometimes I creep up from nature into the arms of men and strangle them with a noose. Oftentimes, however, I consort with men in the semblance of a woman, especially with those with dark skin. For they share my star with me, since they it is who privily or openly worship my star without knowing that they harm themselves and sharpen my appetite for further mischief. For they wish to gain money by worshiping and commemorating me, but I only supply money to those who worship me fairly." Solomon questioned her about her birth, and she replied, "I was born of an untimely voice, the echo of a man's excrement dropped in a wood." This demon born of an echo is similar to the Hebrew spirit named Bath Kol, which is the daughter of a voice, as well as to the Greek spirit in the Gnostic hymn named Hermes. Then Solomon said to her, "Under what star do you pass?" And she answered him, "Under the star of the full moon, for the reason that the moon travels over most things." Then he said to her, "And what angel is it that frustrates you?" And she said to him, "It is he that reigns in you." Solomon thought that she mocked him and commanded his soldier to strike her, but she cried aloud and said, "I am subject to you, O king, by the wisdom of God given to you, and by the angel Joel." Solomon commanded her to spin the hemp for the ropes used in the building of the house of God. And accordingly, when he had sealed and bound her, she was so overcome and powerless as to stand night and day spinning the hemp. In part 2 of the Testament of Solomon, Solomon commands Ornias to call forth Beelzebub, which indicates a hierarchy within the demonic realm. Ornias is a lesser demon, and he serves as a messenger to Beelzebub, a greater demon ruler. The interaction between Ornias and Beelzebub highlights Beelzebub's initial ignorance of Solomon, a human king, which quickly shifts to recognition and compliance when confronted with the symbol of Solomon's divine authority, his ring. This signifies the power of the divine realm over the demonic, a central theme in Judeo-Christian texts where the power of God often represented by his faithful servants, is paramount over evil. The arrival of Beelzebub before Solomon and the subsequent dialogue emphasizes Solomon's wisdom and his control over demons granted by God. Solomon's questioning of Beelzebub and Beelzebub's admission of his identity and role among demons set the stage for Solomon's display of dominion over the spiritual entities. This mirrors the larger biblical narrative where Solomon's wisdom and judgment are legendary. Solomon's ability to command the demons to do his bidding further showcases the victory of divine wisdom over chaotic evil. The fact that Solomon praises and glorifies God at each step of victory over the demons underscores his unwavering faith and humility, signifying that he sees himself not as the vanquisher but as an instrument of the divine will, executing judgment on the wicked by heavenly mandate. Then we're introduced to Orneskilas, one of the few female demons of this realm. Her name means donkey leg in Greek, onos meaning donkey, and skilos meaning leg. Why she has this name isn't mentioned in the text, but this is why subsequent depictions of Orneskilas often features her as part donkey, part woman. Orneskilas embodies deception, portraying herself as a beautiful woman who lures men to their doom. Her confession to Solomon about her actions and origins provides an intriguing look into the beliefs of the time about demons and their interactions with humans. When Orneskilas mentions that she passes under the star of the full moon, it implies a connection to the cyclical phases of the moon. In many ancient belief systems, the full moon was considered a time when supernatural forces, especially malevolent ones, were at their peak in power. The full moon's influence is often associated with heightened emotions, lunacy, a word which comes from the Latin luna for moon, and the occult. Hence, Orneskilas suggests that her power, or perhaps her ability to influence or tempt, is strongest during the full moon, which travels over most things, signifying a pervasive and broad influence. Solomon's reaction to what he perceives as mockery from Orneskilas and his order for her to spin hemp for the temple ropes underscores his absolute authority. The temple, as a representation of divine presence on earth, becomes a place of reformation even for a demon. By turning a being of chaos into one of order and construction, Solomon not only exerts his power, but also transforms evil into good, serving as a symbol of the ultimate victory of God's order over demonic chaos. In essence, Part 2 of the Testament of Solomon offers a dramatic and vivid exploration of the struggle between good and evil, the assertion of divine authority through Solomon, and the belief in the structured order of the universe.